Welcome to Kermode Uncut. I'm here in the dressing room of the Liverpool Playhouse, which is a lovely theatre. I'm about to do a talk here. And I've just been reading this book. This is a book by Michael Caine called Blowing the Bloody Doors Off. Michael Caine came on a show that I do at the BFI South Bank a couple of months ago, and he was talking about the book, and I've always been a big Michael Caine fan. I'm just reading through it. I came across this passage which delighted me enormously. Just indulge me while I read it to you. He's talking about critics and about, whether critics are important and how he tries to ignore critics. And what he says is this: I learned to steer well clear of my reviews because they were often quite hurtful. The only critics I took any notice of were Dilys Pal in the Sunday Times, Caine in the New Yorker, and, get this, Mark Kermode in The Guardian and on Radio 5. If they said a movie was a dud, then it probably was. Now, I could lie to you and tell you that this doesn't make any difference to me at all, but I am absolutely thrilled for two reasons. Firstly, because I think Michael Caine's great, and it's really, really nice to read somebody you really admire saying something nice about you. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, it's the company of those two people, Dilys Pal and Caine. I remember reading Caine as a kind of aspiring critic and disagreeing with so much of what she wrote, but absolutely loving the way that she wrote it. I mean, she was somebody who was very confrontational in her opinion. She was very, very clear cut. She knew what she thought. She knew how to say it. She had a really, really sort of acerbic, astringent way of cutting through the nonsense of film. And many times I disagreed with what she said, but I really liked reading her. The other thing is Dilys Pal. When I was young, somebody gave me a volume of Dilys Pal's film writing and said, you might want to read this. And I remember reading Dilys Pal's reviews, the collected reviews, and thinking, this is just so beautifully written. This is just so well modulated. This is so reasonable. This is so rational. This is so intelligent. This is so informed. And reading it, getting the same kind of feeling that I did reading the collected works of Philip French, who is a critic that I admire enormously. It's a really odd thing. It's one thing to read something nice about yourself in a fab book by Michael Caine, which makes me feel great. But the best thing is to be included in the company of film critics you admire. Caine, Dilys Pal were, for me, at the very, very top of the tree. And don't get me wrong, I don't think for 1 minute that I can hold a candle to anything they do. But it's nice to be mentioned in the same sentence.